29-year-old told reporters that even at points in her day when she is traditionally almost certain to be made uncomfortable by at least one or two leering male strangers, not a single such instance occurred.
I actually got to walk from the train to my office and never once catch some weirdo smiling at me or looking me up and down or slowing down his car to yell some shit out the window at me. I felt weirdly safe or something.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want here on the radio on what is apparently Bitcoin's birthday today.
Yay!
So happy birthday, Bitcoin. It's 9 years old today. With you in the studio here tonight, you've got me, Ian.
Mike. And Will.
Of course, you can bring up anything you want, although we do tend to go towards a more crypto-heavy direction on Wednesday evenings. I think because all of us are pretty deep into to that world, just sort of during the daylight hours. And so that's where we're going to go tonight, especially because it's Bitcoin's birthday. The Genesis block. The very first Bitcoin block on what is called the Bitcoin blockchain. That's the technology, the open ledger, the public ledger, distributed public ledger, decentralized public ledger that is the guts, the technological backing behind Bitcoin, which of course has become the world's most popular and successful cryptocurrency. It was the first one as well. It's an amazing story, and the folks over at Bitcoin.com, of course, have a piece about it. Headline, we've come a long way. Bitcoin Block Zero was born 9 years ago today.
Oh.
I didn't even know that. I didn't find that out until last night. My roommate, Matt, he was telling me, oh, yeah, tomorrow's Bitcoin Genesis Day. I'm like, what? Oh, it's Bitcoin's birthday. I hadn't the clue. I knew about the day with the 10th. I mean, I knew it was created in 2009, but I didn't know which day it was released. And then there was the other day that everybody commemorates, which is the Bitcoin Pizza Day, and I think that's May 22nd, if I'm recalling correctly.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
It's when the first purchase was made, with at least the first known purchase.
2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. How much is that? How expensive was that pizza?
$150 million or something like that.
Ooh, I hope that tasted good.
So let's go with the story here. On this day 9 years ago, quietly, Bitcoin and its blockchain network were birthed with zero block, the Genesis block. Without government permission or wealthy backers, it has generated $250 billion in value. And there's a good chance it might go past $1 trillion in 2018. In combination with the resultant industry it spawned, comprising thousands of alternatives, cryptocurrency is a $700 billion market. Wow, I didn't know it had crossed that. I know the last time I looked, which I think was sometime last night, the total market cap for all of the cryptocurrencies in the world combined was $650 billion. And yes, indeed, it has blown through $700 billion. It is now $739 billion. That's the total value of all cryptocurrencies in the world. There are over 1,300 of them that are listed right now at coinmarketcap.com. That's a new record high. We've never had...
Babies growing up, you know?
Yeah. And in fact, in the case of Bitcoin, it's actually not growing as quickly compared to some of the rest of the cryptocurrencies out there. It is now at a new all-time low, Bitcoin, in its dominance of the marketplace. It's over... It's 34.7%. So meaning that of the roughly $740 billion market cap in the globe, 34% of that is Bitcoin's share.
Ripple's been really moving up the ranks.
Sure has. Ripple at a solid number 2 position at about, right now, just a little under half of the total market cap of Bitcoin.
But
about
a lot of people challenge the idea whether Ripple is really a cryptocurrency.
I think there's some valid claims there. Now, can you summarize what that challenge is?
Well, it's
y'all right
not,
over there, Will?
Yeah,
it's not,
I hate Ripple. Every time somebody brings up Ripple, I'm just
gross.
It's not really a decentralized or distributed.
Not at all. It's a corporate thing.
It's a corporate thing. They pre-mined 100% of the 100 billion tokens.
And aren't they burning it too? Like when you send Ripple, you burn Ripple?
Yeah. So that's their idea of deflation pressure on the issuance. But the thing is that the Ripple company owns 60% of the Ripple that they have in a reserve.
So hold on. So I'm glad you're telling me all this because I didn't. I mean, I knew they were burning some of this stuff when they were moving it around, but if they started with 100 billion, according to CoinMarketCap, they only have 38 billion right now.
No. That's just what's in circulation.
Okay.
60 billion is being held by the Ripple company.
They still hold on to it, and they just release it however they want to.
Yeah. And so
it's totally manipulated from top to bottom.
Yeah, so they can use their, they're the market maker.
It's not Bitcoin.
Yeah, and they can manipulate the price however they want. And so, you burn a little bit when you do transactions, and that's their idea of this destruction as a means of deflation.
The Ripple thing is also not really much of a currency either because it's actually intended for use by banks, to have banks being able to settle debts or whatever between one another.
Yeah, and it's primarily meant to as an intermediary between different currencies, primarily fiat currencies, but between fiat and crypto as well. So it's sort of I would call it a crypto lubricant, maybe. But that's I wouldn't.
You know what? It's
like a
almost
scam.
You know what? Crypto lubricant, right? For the state to lube you up before they bend you over. That's a perfect description.
Right, because remember, the Ripple people, it's a corporation. They have total control over this. They can freeze your funds just like any other bank.
They can lock up your account.
Yeah. So, I mean, why so many...
Aren't they proud of being regulated?
Of course they would be.
Yeah.
Well, Losky's on their board.
They have the New York regulator. That's who you're referring to, Ben Losky, who is... The only reason I know this guy's name is because he was the person who... Because I don't normally pay attention to politicians and such, but this was the guy who pushed through the BIT license, which is the sole reason why New York is basically a place where Bitcoin operators do not want to be. Yeah. Bitcoin companies do not.
Bitcoin wasteland.
Right. They do not want to open up for business in New York because of this BIT license. You have to jump through all kinds of hoops. There's $100,000 you got to have at least just to get through the licensing process. And that's, obviously going to cut out the little guy because the little guy doesn't have $100,000 that, you want to start a Bitcoin business? You don't have a whole lot of money? Don't go to New York.
Isn't that any business, though?
Well, yeah,
if you want to go to start a business and you don't have $100,000, whether it's a cryptocurrency business or not, don't go to New York.
Yeah, it's funny because I go down to New York regularly to meet investors, and I also meet investors from California, and everybody's telling me you got to do business in New York.
That's where the money is.
It's like there's money, but it's like that's where the taxes and that's where the regulations are, and that's just gonna get you into this trap, and it's like getting snared by the mafia.
I didn't get into cryptocurrency so that I could be regulated and taxed by the government.
Yeah.
Right. Now, so, we've gotten onto this Ripple sidetrack here. It's really bothersome how many of the libertarian cryptocurrency enthusiasts are into Ripple. They just see it as this ride that they're taking, and they're going to... It's almost like they
trade in it. I won't even trade in it.
It's almost like they feel like they're getting the best of the banks by holding on for this ride. And it's like, you guys are relying on the banks, and don't be surprised if you end up getting screwed in this deal.
And they're also promoting it to noobs.
Are they?
Bad. Yeah.
That's not good, man. That's not good. You don't want to promote something that the government can just come in and snatch away from you.
Yeah.
If they feel like it. And that's one of the benefits of cryptocurrency is that you are in control of your finances for the first time ever. You don't have to rely on another person. Yes, you have to rely on the companies that program the wallets, because unless you're a programmer who can program your own wallet, there's to some extent some reliance there.
So why would you turn around and hand control right back over to them?
But at least with many of the wallets, they're open source, so the code is out there, so the people who know how to look at code can go and validate the code and make sure it's not like some kind of sneaky backdoor that they're going to try to steal your Bitcoin or whatever. So you have control over your own money, because with cryptocurrency, with real cryptocurrencies, you have what they call the private keys. And this has to do with cryptography, public and private key pairs. When you give somebody your Bitcoin address, that's your public key. That's the one that you can show to anyone in the world, because if somebody has that address, all they can do with it is send you money. That's all they can do with it. With your private keys, those are the ones you want to keep private. You want to keep those secret. You don't want to just share those with people, because if you share those, then whoever you share it with has access to send your Bitcoin. They can then take your Bitcoin from you. So only you want to hold on to the private keys. And in the case of something like Ripple, you don't have access to that stuff as far as I understand, because if they can freeze it, they're the ones who are in control of it. But let's continue here on Bitcoin's Genesis Day. It is 9 years old today, and this is Free Talk Live. If you want to join us here, 855-450 free, you can take control of the airwaves.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can bring up anything that you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype on in here at Skype username lrn.fm, bitcoin.com. That's where we are sharing you the story about the Bitcoin Genesis block that came out 9 years ago today, in the year 2009, January 3rd. We are celebrating that here tonight on Free Talk Live with Bitcoin at about $15,000 US per Bitcoin, which is not quite the highest it's been, but it may be going back up. You never know what's going to happen in the future, but it's been a great 9 years, going from zero to $15,000 in that time frame, and most of that run up happened in the last year, 2017. Was an incredible year with, as we were talking about earlier, the total coin market cap now over $700 billion. Bitcoin is only about 34% of the total market cap. So it's losing its dominant position, not just on the charts in that it's number one compared to number two, which is Ripple. Ripple's at $120 billion now, and Bitcoin at about $256, I think, billion. So Ripple's had seen some amazing gains. It's interesting to watch it all happen. But go to Bitcoin.com. If you're new to Bitcoin, you're new to the idea of cryptocurrency, you got to go and learn about the original, the first one, the one that started it all, which was Bitcoin. So head over to Bitcoin.com and check that out. And again, don't forget about their news site. There's always new information being posted there at news.bitcoin.com. As we continue here, it's Ian, Mike, and Will in the studio tonight. We had started the story here about the Genesis block and talking about the industries that were spawned. All of these companies, they never existed before. The Coinbase, the BitPay, there's so much out there. Blockchain.info. And those are just some of the older ones. I mean, there's probably a bunch of them that have failed as well, because that's just
tons.
Yeah. But a lot of people have tried a lot of different things, lots of innovations, new ways of getting access to Bitcoin wallets, and more competition now than there's ever been. It's really an amazing space to learn about.
Talking about how libertarians are promoting Ripple, and now you have
which is like a bank, bank currency.
You have, and that's not the only thing that's going around now that is, basically bragging in libertarian space that they're supported by Department of Homeland Security or some other nonsense, and if you're a libertarian, there's so many options out there that are built around privacy and decentralization that if you're not investing in those coins, you're kind of a philosophical trader because you're financially supporting something that's outside, and I don't care if you feel like you're getting the wool over on, you're not, okay? You're putting money in. It's just like putting money into the banks. You're helping drive the prices up. You're helping drive up the value of that 60 billion that's not been mined so that these yahoos can go to the bank with big piles of money when this whole thing is over with. Why not support Zcash? Why not support Zencash? Why not support
Monero?
Verge? Why not support Monero? Why not, okay, fine, why not support, at least Vertcoin decentralizes mining. Now, it may be simple Bitcoin or Litecoin, but at least they want to decentralize mining. I mean, the idea is decentralization for libertarians, not
that's what we thought,
supporting the centralizers.
Right.
But if you've got people coming into crypto buying Ripple with fiat money like dollars or whatever, that's fine if it's kind of like the entry drug into crypto,
right?
And that if that gets them into things like Bitcoin and Verge and so on and so forth, that's a great thing. But from the charts I've been seeing, people, about 2/3 of the money going into into Ripple is actually coming from Bitcoin and Ethereum and a couple other current blockchains.
Does that mean that the people who are buying with Bitcoin or Ethereum or these others, they're buying Ripple? Does that mean the banks are the ones getting the Ethereum and the Bitcoin in a lot of cases?
Whoever's holding the Ripple that's selling it to them. So banks, the Ripple Corporation, which has banks as investors.
Right.
so on and so forth.
Because that's what I
So
was.
they're trading you this worthless, regulated, manipulatable crap for good cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and so the story going around is that Ripple is a scheme really for the banks to
get a bunch of
cheap
Bitcoin.
Get low-cost Bitcoin and Ethereum to build up their reserves so that they can basically capture this this store of value, just like they captured all the gold in 1932 when Roosevelt turned it all over to
Ain't getting
them.
none of mine.
It's a brilliant plan.
Yeah,
if that's what's actually
Ain't getting
happening.
none of mine.
So, if anybody out there is looking at getting into crypto and hears that it's easy to get into Ripple, buy Ripple with fiat and use that to buy other crypto. Don't spend your crypto on Ripple.
Good advice. So if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Although I don't know how easy it is to get Ripple.
Better yet,
Is it
it's
that
not,
easy?
It's not.
They
hard
have their
at
own
all.
exchange, and they have interfaces with Morgan Stanley and HSBC and a number of other big banks.
You can buy them with dollar tethers on. I think HitBTC and
yeah, but the average person isn't going to be able to do that.
You can buy them with New Zealand dollars on.
There is
Cryptopia.
talk that Ripple's going to wind up on Coinbase soon, and I don't know.
That would be awful.
I don't know how accurate that story is.
It wouldn't surprise
I
me
hope
if it were
not.
true, but it will be awful if it does
God, I
turn
hope not.
true. Let's talk to Robert. He's in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I usually don't call this early, but it's really exciting that that this show has been talking about cryptocurrency here, pretty frequently for at least, I want to say at least a better part of the month, anyways.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about cryptocurrency for 7 years, basically.
Well, I mean, a lot more often is what I meant.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. But one of the currency that I have is Dogecoin, and I kind of feel, how come you kind of seem like you're not talking about it at all? You don't like Dogecoin at all?
Well, there's a little to say. Doge has gone up in value a lot recently.
Yeah,
so
has everything, though.
Yeah, everything. But I know a few people who have had don't really pay much attention to crypto, but they wound up with a lot of Doge, a few years ago, and they come back
because it was
and
a
they
joke.
Yeah, it was a big joke.
It's becoming an entry level currency for people like say you're like me and you don't have like $15,000 to buy a Bitcoin.
But you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin.
Yeah, but there's a psychological feeling.
Meme, the Doge meme is kind of like
that comes along with owning a whole coin
thing. Yeah,
or hundreds of it, to the point that like some of the exchanges that I go on, they not only have BTC to whatever you're going exchanges, they now have a Doge exchange. And the Doge exchange many times now is as big, if not bigger, than the Bitcoin exchange. And like Cryptopia, the Bitcoin exchange closes at 5 o'clock. So after 5 p.m.
They close a Bitcoin exchange?
You can't exchange Bitcoin for other big currencies, but you can with Doge.
I've never heard of a
Doge
Bitcoin
stays open
exchange
24 hours.
And it's great for microtransactions.
Yep.
Yeah, that much is true. We did talk about Doge when it came out because it was hilarious, and they were like buying. Remember when they bought that race car wrap?
Yeah.
It's a serious currency now.
Hey, thanks, Robert, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I don't know if it's serious, but it's doing much better than it ever has. It's Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Free Talk Live.
It would be better if we talked about the basis of all of this as far as the legal theory.
I get the legal theory. That's the problem with people who call like this, Scott. You really sound like you know what you're talking about, but ultimately you don't have anything to prove that you know what you're talking about. And everyone who's ever tried this stuff has gone down in flames. And of course, everyone always says after that, like you're saying about your own self and your own experience, oh, well, I didn't know enough at that time. I know now. And I really don't want to hear any more about this until you actually come up with some evidence, because I'm telling you, it's bunk and it doesn't work at all because these people don't follow their own rules. Even if you have figured out from inside their own rules, even if you spent years, as you say you have, researching their ordinances and researching their statutes and how law works and the contract stuff and all of that, none of it matters because they don't follow their own rules.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. It is Bitcoin's 9th birthday, so kudos and congratulations all around. As we continue, we'll tell you a little bit more about the history of the Bitcoin blockchain and what it's all about. You can, of course, join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. We're brought to you by all kinds of different cryptocurrency-related organizations and cryptos, including Zencash. It's one of the hottest cryptocurrencies that started up in 2017. And I think it's pretty important because it was actually founded by voluntarists, people who care about the ideas of liberty in addition to being interested in cryptocurrency. And to me, when you have a boatload of competitors out there, all of them scratching to try to compete to, defeat Bitcoin and, possibly become the #1 crypto in the world, how do you pick a winner? Well, I'm not saying Zencash is going to be the winner. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But if I have a limited amount of funds to invest, I'm going to choose one that's more ideologically compatible. Do you choose Ripple, which is run by the banks and, basically in bed with the governments? Or do you choose something like Zencash, which is actually run by voluntarists who understand economics? I mean, it seems to me to be a no-brainer. Plus, Zencash actually rolled in some of the best cryptography that's out there, including zero-knowledge anonymity. So it's actually a privacy coin, in addition to them having what they're building is a decentralized autonomous organization. So they've taken some of the best ideas from some of the existing cryptos out there. And I think, Will, you said this is one of the third-generation altcoins?
That's
right?
what I've heard them described in some of the some of the speeches that I've seen given by different, developers and cryptographers that are talking about the new coins, the new kids on the block, Cardano, Zencash, with these extra, it's like this. These are second generation security contracts, because we've already had one kind of security contracts that existed, and now these are the next level.
They are
above.
taking the Zcash thing to the next level. So check out Zencash. It is actually allows you to send money and messages to anyone anywhere in the world, and it's private. So Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. You can find out more at zencash.com. That, again, is zencash.com. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Libertarian Banker is on the line, calling from the United States. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys.
Hey there.
I just want to call in real quick and talk to you all about Ripple.
Sure.
I hear, you guys are on air just giving it a hard time, and I just wanted to call in, I guess, and defend it a little bit. Now, I'm not the biggest Ripple fan in the world, nor do I own some of it, but, I just wanted to play the other side of it here.
Sure, yeah, let's hear it.
Some things that you guys are missing here. I think one of the major advantages to Ripple is that it's a way for banks to transfer wealth to each other. So
That's
not only
fine.
is it a currency, but it's also a network. And what it does is it's going to revolutionize banking in a way because of the old Federal Reserve ACH system and how slow it is to process transactions and things like this. And this is going to completely revolutionize payments.
I think that's great.
Make payments cheaper.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of Ripple as far as like helping banks move money around.
Absolutely.
Great. I don't want to wait 3 days or 3 business days.
I
and
hate
then,
my bank.
Yeah.
And the time transferring money is the biggest reason I hate them. And that's great.
So the question is the Federal Reserve going to allow banks to use Ripple?
Well, it doesn't matter, Ian, because what the Ripple network allows them to do is allows banks to deposit any currency in the world, whether it's euros, dollars, yen, whatever, and transfer the wealth in Ripple and then cash out on the other end in their local currency instantaneously. So the Fed doesn't even have to be involved.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the Federal Reserve is basically in charge of all of the banks.
Yeah.
So if the Federal Reserve says, you can't use this Ripple thing, you got to keep using the Federal Reserve ACH and wiring system.
And they'll be even if it's for some microsecond between the dollar and the yen, the bank is holding Ripple in between that transaction. And there are not just federal laws, but state laws that limit what sort of financial instruments banks are allowed to own, even for a microsecond. And so far, none of them are allowed to hold cryptocurrency. So there needs to be some regulatory.
You're saying you're not worried about that?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that, and that was my first point. And if I can get to the other two, I'll kind of explain it. But I think what I'm saying is that it has an actual use case. There's a ton of cryptocurrencies out there that are absolute crap, man. They don't do anything. And this one has a specific use case with, a demand. There's a market demand in the banking industry for this.
No doubt.
Ripple's revolutionizing it. And I think
Look, man, I got no problem with the idea of Ripple, but it's not a cryptocurrency.
And if it's being used as a scheme for banks to get a hold of good cryptocurrency,
if that's what's happening,
then that's a threat to the cryptocurrency community.
I would say, look, man, Mike, I would say that is a plus because let's get away from the Federal Reserve because here's the immorality.
You can't. You're regulated by
them. The banks own the Federal Reserve. They're part of the system.
Here is the immorality of the whole system is the fact that the banks can borrow money from the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve can collect taxes from my child, my grandchild, my great-grandchild to repay those debts. And that is immoral as hell. And when banks are starting to get involved in blockchain technology and crypto assets, it completely eliminates that. You can't borrow against future Bitcoin. It's impossible the way the network is set up to print.
Well,
more
the bankers
Bitcoin
aren't going to
and
stop borrowing from the Federal Reserve.
This is like asking for virtuous behavior from Satan. Okay,
But what it's
that's
doing
not
is
in
it's
his nature.
taking-
You know,
It's it's getting away from that fiat currency, and it's a step in the right direction.
I agree with you.
That's all I'm saying.
Look, man, I didn't say the banks shouldn't have Ripple. I never said that. I think that if the banks actually do this Ripple thing, and there's so far, from what I understand, no banks are, but if the banks are going to actually do this and it makes money transfers faster between banks, that's great. I think that's fantastic. If it makes it easier to send money, over a wire transfer because you don't have to go through the Fed wire system anymore and you can do it bank to bank directly, if you can cut out the Federal Reserve somehow, fantastic. But don't go around trying to claim this is a cryptocurrency that is in any way anything like Bitcoin or, Monero or Dash. And I'm not saying you're claiming that, but there are people out there. There are people out there who are acting as though Ripple is just one of this bevy of cryptocurrencies, and it doesn't meet the definition at all.
I agree. It is not decentralized, and they can take you. But I believe that its use case its benefits of its use case far outweigh the cons of it. That's all I'm saying.
Fine. Like I said, not everybody has to invest in it. Our concern was that people who claim to be for freedom are out there promoting this currency that is arguably the least free of all of the cryptocurrencies out there. It's not even a cryptocurrency because it's not, open source. It's not, I don't know what level of cryptography they even are using with it. I'm sure there's some, but it's certainly not decentralized. It's completely controlled. It is top-down managed, and so therefore it shouldn't even be on the list.
60% of it's held by the creating company.
Yeah, it should not even be on the list. And
think about the size of that company. Just on another note, I mean, what are they worth? Like $50 billion within the course of 2 months, or something like that? That's ridiculous.
Here's what I want to know:
Anyway.
is there a difference? Are you aware of stellar lumens? Because I've heard that they are supposed to be kind of like Ripple in that they're going to be a bank-to-bank kind of.
One of the two co-founders of Ripple is the founder of Stellar Lumens, and with Stellar Lumens, he claims that he has fixed the problems that Ripple has had, and so Stellar Lumens is better, more ethical, it's that sort of thing.
So Stellar Lumens
sure,
is.
I had not even looked into that. I assumed it was a lot like Ripple.
Yeah.
So I'll do some more research on that particular one.
Is Stellar Lumens, are they less offensive to own than Ripple, or are they just as bad? Because I've heard that they can freeze your account too.
I believe they may be able to do that. And there's, so that it's sort of like, a lesser evil.
Is that right?
As libertarians are used to.
Well, it's doing very well. It's broken into the top 10 now. Did you make your third point, Banker? If not, we can hang on to you.
Yeah, I did. I'm good to go, guys.
Hey, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Yeah, I don't think Ripple's a bad idea for banks. I just think it's a bad idea for those of us who care about freedom to own it and to support it. It's Free Talk Live.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories. While I say these hobgoblins are imaginary, I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. You got it?
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. You can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio, it's Ian,
Mike,
and Will.
And of course, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. You can sign up for our email list. We will send you an email, usually a once a week basis, to keep you in the loop with what's happening with Free Talk Live. As I say, you can follow us there over at freetalklive.com. There is a email sign-up box right there on the front page of the website. It's kind of at the center front top area of the site. So check it out. Get signed up over there at freetalklive.com. As we will continue, we'll take your calls about whatever's on your mind. We're discussing the birthday of one of our favorite things, Bitcoin, which unfortunately is not doing so well these days. I mean, the price is doing great. It's at $15,000 per Bitcoin today, which is incredible. But the usefulness of the Bitcoin has gone down. And as they are saying here over at news.bitcoin.com, we have come a long way, where Bitcoin was born 9 years ago today by its creator, the still anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. After nearly a decade, he is still unknown. Or she, or they.
They.
Or it.
I'm totally going with they.
Well,
what
unknown
about
by most.
Space aliens?
I talked with him the other day.
You talked with Satoshi Nakamoto?
Yeah.
How do you know it was him? Because the real Satoshi would have to sign with their PGP key, right?
Well, for people that didn't know him before.
You're claiming to know Satoshi
I've already
Nakamoto?
told you about this.
You told me that it was a group of people.
It's a group of people, but I know who had the different people, so I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, but how do you know? I mean, there's been people out there for a long time who've been trying to figure this out, and you're claiming that you know?
Well,
who
I worked
Satoshi
on
is?
BitGold, man, so I know everybody in this that was involved in things.
How many people are Satoshi Nakamoto?
There's at least 5, possibly 7, depending upon Hal's dead, and of course, and there's another person who joined after I left who has also passed away. But you've got about 5 or 6 people who are essentially in the know.
So what you're saying is this group of people, all of them have access to the PGP key?
Only one does.
And who's that?
I can't say. I'm contractually bound against discussing this further.
I'm surprised nobody's tried to torture it out of you at this point, since the governments really, really want to know who Satoshi is.
They haven't shown up at my door. Not like the Secret Service did over the Kilo decision.
Yeah.
Well, they know where this door is if they don't know
where you live.
Oh, hell.
You can bet that.
They've already got Secret Service already has a file on me, so I'm not worried.
So more than 500,000 mined blocks later, enthusiasts can only imagine what's to come to Bitcoin, or what's to come in Bitcoin's next 9 years. Pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, perhaps one person, maybe a group, set loose a hinge of human history, the blockchain database, and its resultant cryptographic currency, Bitcoin. The first block, Block 0, and its 50 Bitcoin reward, now worth over $700,000 as of this writing, was locked, unable to be transacted, and for all of time. Saturday, January 3rd, 2009 at 6:15 p.m., I presume that's Eastern time, the Genesis block, maybe it's GMT. Anyway, the Genesis block also contained, smuggled in the code, text from the morning's Times of London, a cultural timestamp and allusion to what Bitcoin was meant to explicitly address, yet another taxpayer bailout of legacy banking screamed in a below-the-fold headline.
And that was not an accident.
The Great Recession metastasized from the world's reserve currency, the United States, to all first world nations, and quickly, shaky investment vehicles, largely in real estate financing with risks insured by governments, proved a moral hazard, taking down the Royal Bank of Scotland and several others. At least a few people appeared ready for something radical, something different when it came to organizing 1/2 of all transactions. Money, a main measure of wealth, had been nationalized, tethered to instruments of coercion and force. The issue in the first decade of the 21st century was divorcing money and state, getting around governments and their incessant push to monitor and control and inflate. And that is, kind of the crux of why Bitcoin was created, wasn't it?
Yeah, because libertarians around the world know that the biggest problem with statism is that it's control over the economy to whatever degree, So, in the past century, people were emphasizing separation of church and state. Well, now we emphasize the separation of economy and state.
I emphasize the separation of law and state.
I emphasize the destruction of all the ideas of the state, but we're not there yet. But yeah, so this was a major change, a shift for humanity that most people don't really even understand what Satoshi Nakamoto accomplished. They've never really thought about how important of a distinction this is, that we finally have a form of money that the banks do not have control over, that the government does not have control over. This is a first for all of humanity, for all of time, basically.
Historically,
that's not
if
true.
you go back to the mid-19th century, just in the U.S. alone, there were 14,000 currencies.
Mm-hmm.
And basically every bank issued their own notes. Because if you didn't have gold and silver on hand, because you had them, if you were operating a bank and you would lend those out to people for various reasons, you still had assets in terms of the mortgages, so you could issue your own bank's own notes based on the value of those mortgages. And so every bank had their own currency, and the value of that currency would vary based on reputation and distance. So a person who had notes from some podunk bank here in New Hampshire that wanted to travel out west, and they had their local bank's notes, those notes would have zero value in, say, Oklahoma or Colorado or whatever. But so they would go to a large regional bank like in Boston or New York and exchange those for notes with a bank that people recognized. And then they would go to a larger bank out west and do the same thing. So it's a very cumbersome way of doing things, but it was really the only way, because of the lack of credit bureaus and other ways for people to verify the veracity of banknotes because you could theoretically counterfeit them,
sure.
and a lot of that I'm sure happened.
Right. How do you know what one bank's note looks like compared to another bank's
And that was
note?
sort of a problem with the trust. And going back to Satoshi, the big game theory that Satoshi solved with Bitcoin is what we call the Byzantine generals problem, which is how do you trust the transactions of others you're trying to cooperate with who you do not trust?
Right.
And so the Bitcoin enables this trustless monetary exchange
where there's no fraud in the system.
Exactly.
It is the way the system is set up is to prevent any kind of fraudulent transactions because of its decentralized, distributed nature, where this ledger essentially lives. The history of all Bitcoin transactions that have ever occurred lives in thousands of places all around the globe, and they're all linked together simultaneously. So if somebody tries some sort of monkey business on their copy of the ledger, the others reject it, and that just doesn't fly. Now, Will, you'd said what I said wasn't true, so can you correct me then? I'd made a statement about how Bitcoin was the first time that people have actually had money that wasn't controlled by banks or governments.
Yeah. Throughout antiquity, there were basically the way medium of exchanges work, at least in the Muslim world, was you had gold and silver, but then anything that was local, that was in high volume, it was massive quantities of it around, and it also had a use, outside of being a medium of exchange, was money. Okay. So like in Arab lands, they used dates as money. The date, that's right.
And same thing in the West, because money was so scarce. Granted, after that reduced a bit after the gold rush, but you had the major asset that people had was their farming produce. And usually the person they owed money to the most was the general store, who was supplying them with seeds, with tools, with anything they needed to develop their farm that they couldn't grow or build themselves. And so there was always, the general store was the major creditor and would often take produce as a exchangeable commodity, and they would issue script in the off season to people to.
I'm talking more than just like a barter style script like that, but literally like today, currently, you have communities in Malaysia that use rice as a form of currency. It is it's rice specifically that's used as a medium of exchange. You can buy things with pounds and pounds of rice because it has a long shelf life, and it's in high supply, and it has a value outside of using it as a medium of exchange. Same thing in Trinidad. You have villages that use sugar as a medium of exchange.
We're going to come back with more, and you can share your thoughts. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. Join us. Hour 2's coming up on Free Talk Live.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,316 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $53, and the average price of Bitcoin is $14,818. Antiwar.com reports the latest in a series of threats to cut foreign aid around the world. President Trump has issued a statement complaining the Palestinians don't show him appreciation or respect for the hundreds of millions of dollars the U.S. has given them. He went on to suggest that the U.S. should not be making any future payments because of their refusal to accept his peace process. This centers around President Trump's Jerusalem declaration, which declared the city as Israel's capital and fueled massive worldwide protests, but nowhere so much as Palestine, which considers the eastern part of the city as their own capital. Trump's declaration led Palestinian leadership to conclude the U.S. can no longer serve as a peace arbiter. President Trump appears not to realize how badly the Jerusalem declaration was taken, however, presenting it as having resolved the toughest issue, Jerusalem's status, and thereby making the rest of the negotiation simpler. Trump's declaration is not only not accepted internationally, but even within his administration, most officials have been insisting it would not make an impact on Jerusalem's final status in the peace process, despite Trump clearly declaring the city off the table and ceded to Israel by U.S. diktat. This is all but a best-case scenario for Israel's far-right government, as they not only don't have to keep putting off Trump on the peace deal, but don't have to take the blame since Trump decided it's all the Palestinians' doing.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend a Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend a Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports Amazon announced Tuesday they had sold more than 5 billion items through their Amazon Prime service in 2017, with more than 100 million items eligible for unlimited free 2-day shipping in the United States. Amazon Prime's Vice President Greg Greeley said tens of millions of members around the world enjoy the many benefits included with Prime, and in fact, more new paid members joined Prime worldwide this year than any previous year. In 2017, more than 5 billion items worldwide shipped with Prime, and members use digital benefits like Prime Video, Prime Music, and Prime Reading more than ever before. The company has never disclosed how many members are subscribers to the service or what the retention rates are for users. Amazon's Fire TV Stick and the Echo Dot were the best-selling products purchased by U.S. Prime members from any manufacturer in any category across all of Amazon. The company said Instant Pot, a 7-in-1 kitchen appliance, was the most wish-listed item of the year and was delivered to more than 27,000 U.S. zip codes. A total of 17 million combined viewers used Amazon Prime Video's streaming service to watch 10 NFL Thursday Night Football games throughout 200 countries and territories across the world.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said on Tuesday that New York City will install more than 1,500 new barrier posts on sidewalks and plazas to protect pedestrians from vehicles after at least 2 instances last year of drivers killing people after mounting the curb. De Blasio said the thin, cylindrical, waist-height metal bollards are intended to be a more attractive alternative to the hulking concrete blocks the New York Police Department had deposited in busier areas around the city following the vehicle attacks. The mayor said at a Times Square announcement in front of a line of the post, "We understand what's happening around the world, and we even saw some tragedies here." De Blasio spoke within sight of the place where an intoxicated man in May steered a car along the sidewalk for 3 city blocks, killing a young woman and injuring at least 22 people. Last November, a man was charged with murder and providing support to the Islamic State after he plowed down people on a Manhattan bike lane the previous month, killing 8. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hamburglar urges a Senate subcommittee to rubble. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Hamburger advocate and convicted felon Hamburglar denounced a prison system he called rubble as he testified before the Senate subcommittee on penal reform. Hamburglar, convicted in 1998 of breaking and entering a McDonald's hamburger franchise in South Beloit, Wisconsin, and currently serving a sentence of 3 to 5 years, made this impassioned plea before being interrupted by U.S. Senator Bob Smith of Rhode Island.
Certainly there is room for improvement in our prison system, but I would hardly call the current situation rubble.
After delivering his message to the subcommittee, Hamburglar was promptly placed in chains and returned to prison to serve out the remainder of his sentence in solitary confinement. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, launching into the second hour of the program, and as always, you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, talking about one of the most important, momentous occasions in our lifetimes, and that is the creation of Bitcoin. The Genesis block was mined today, 9 years ago, by Satoshi Nakamoto, and nobody knows who that is. Although, Mike, you claim that you have some knowledge on that it's actually a group of
It is a group
individuals.
of people.
But they created this thing, and the world has been changed for the better because it has allowed individuals to finally be able to control their money, to finally, you know, you were giving some examples of some non-governmental controlled currencies like rice that or dates that some people had used. Obviously, with certain things, spoilage would be an issue there. But as you pointed out, rice isn't as likely to spoil.
That's one of the requirements is it has to be something that has a long shelf life. Like dates are dried.
Yeah.
So they last just about forever.
And spices of all kinds, from pepper frankincense, myrrh, all these kind of things. Yeah, that was why frankincense and myrrh have their place in the Bible and so forth. It's because they were valuable. They were, for a very, very small amount, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I consider myself corrected that humanity has had previous things that are considered currencies that have not been manipulated by governments and banks. But certainly in our lifetime, that hasn't been the case.
God, no.
Well, Bitcoin was created, and BitGold, its prototype, basically as an answer to problems with the early digital currencies that were created by people in the early internet. You had
like
eGold, DigiCash, so forth, and
they got raided. Almost all of them, right? Got shut down.
And even beyond the digital currencies, you had groups like Norfed who had
the Liberty Dollar, silver currency.
Bernard von Nothaus, he's a friend of mine, and
we've had him on the air here.
And when I was blogging before I joined SL, I had broken the story of him getting raided, and that was a big story.
I was a Liberty associate at that time. I was one of the Liberty Dollar associate people that helped to try to push that stuff out there. What a shame that Bernard ended up jumping on the Trump train recently. That was disappointing to see. But regardless, the Liberty Dollar is something that I think will hold a warm spot in a lot of people's hearts.
I still have a few in my drawer.
That's
in my
contraband.
desk.
You don't want to admit to that. Let's go to Jamal. He's on the line in Norfolk, Virginia. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, yeah, it's Jamil.
Oh, Jamil.
Over here in Norfolk.
Apologies.
Yeah, no worries. I apologize for the call quality. I have to call for my cell this time.
All right.
But yeah, I have a question for Will. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kif halak?
What did you just say?
Just greetings, peace on us.
Yeah, peace and blessings on you.
Okay.
Rahma is mercy, compassion, and wa barakatuh is and blessings.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yes. So Imam Will, I wanted to ask you, basically, I'll give you some background. When I first got into cryptocurrency after listening to Free Talk Live, on and off for a while, I decided to, finally download my Jax wallet at the time and get my first Bitcoin. I was a complete novice. And, right before jumping into it, of course, I did some Googling or, some searching and didn't actually use Google, but did some searching and tried to get some basic information about some kind of Islamic scholarly opinions about cryptocurrency, just some basic, just kind of skim through some basic stuff just to see, if it's halal, what's the consensus, and I was surprised that there was a decent amount of information about it, and that it was, I was, it was very positive, what I read. But I kind of just skimmed over it, just wanted to see, make sure that, I was a very novice, so I really didn't know exactly, what I was getting into. But now that I had I'm become quite a lot more knowledgeable now, on the subject. And but now that I had the opportunity to talk to you and ask you, as someone that's pretty uniquely qualified to speak on this thing, I want to know, this is redundant to what you've been talking about. I haven't been listening to the whole show, but what do you what's the general overview and consensus on it
from an Islamic perspective?
Yes.
Okay. There is no consensus. That's the consensus. Basically, what I'm seeing is that those religious scholars, quote unquote, who are somehow associated with the state, are against it.
They don't like it.
They do not like it. We actually talked about that a few weeks ago. And then most of the independent scholars that I've spoken to, or that have released, scholarly opinions, fatwas of their own, are either expressing that they don't know enough about it to be able to have an opinion, or B, that they don't see anything wrong with it. They treat it as a currency or as a commodity, and that, again, the jury is really out because they're not cryptographers. They don't understand the technology. They, this is not something to be throwing around fatwas about, because there's not enough that's known by the people who are making these fatwas on the issue. As far as myself, because my focus has been in Islamic economics, and I've dealt with cryptocurrencies for quite a while, the only thing that I would say is, if you own proof of stake coins and you establish a stake, then the airdrop payouts that come from that function in a similar way to the interest that is paid on an interest-bearing bank account. So it's...
And that's forbidden, right?
Well, it's questionable enough that I personally would avoid it.
But an interest account is forbidden, right?
It is.
Okay, by Islam.
It's considered riba. It's considered interest, and because it functions in the same way, I would personally call it that, even though they call it an airdrop or whatever.
So when you talk about just for our
I
listeners,
would avoid it personally, and anyone who's Muslim who's come to me for cryptocurrency advice, because
you're the guy.
Quite a few people have. I always tell them, if you're going to trade in something like, say, clams, which are a partial proof of stake coin, don't establish a stake. If you invest in them to buy them as an investment, but don't establish a stake. Don't hold enough of them.
For listeners that don't know, the proof of stake is a different mode of sort of network operation for certain cryptocurrencies out there. The classic example is Bitcoin, which is what's called proof of work, where you've got
miners.
The miners are the ones that are cranking out their computers, graphics cards, and special hardware to do the work required to solve cryptographic problems and put these blocks on the blockchain and do the back end guts of Bitcoin. Whereas the people that have proof of stake they're getting paid. So the miners are getting paid for doing that work.
Yeah.
Whereas the people who are proof of stake, what you're saying, stake a certain amount of these coins.
Right.
What was the
Usually
good example of it?
tens of thousands. Black coin or
Black coin.
clams.
So there's X amount that you have to or I guess it probably have some minimum amount you have to stake, and then you get paid based on the stake size, right?
Yes,
Generally?
you do.
And
so you're making money without really doing anything.
Yeah, you can't use any of it.
Right,
The stake has to stay.
Yeah, so it's an encouragement to save.
Yes.
Right.
And so,
but it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do it. For instance, if in the Dash network, in order to be a master node, you not only have to operate a node server, but you have to hold 1,000 Dash.
In that case, the node is performing some sort of a service. It's supposedly helping with their private send feature, which some say isn't that very private, but it is also supposedly helping with the instant send feature that Dash has as well.
So it is providing benefits there. So you can't be a master node operator and have a vote in the network just by holding 1,000 Dash.
Correct. You have to have something doing something.
Right. Exactly. It requires work, effort.
Correct.
Something is happening to create that value, to create that wealth. Whereas with a stake,
you're just sitting on money.
Money is created by sitting, and that's interest.
Yeah.
And that's riba. And
now, how does interest and how do you differentiate, say, interest like in a savings account from dividends on stock ownership?
It's considered an investment.
Okay.
One is considered you're putting money into a company to help a company, and that money is working at that company.
Okay.
And that is creating
and you're getting
a
an
profit
earning
for you.
Okay.
Whereas money just sitting to be loaned to others, the interest-bearing loans themselves are considered predatory. So you contributing to that,
Jamil, if you want,
being paid
you can
for
stand by here. More coming up in moments here. Hold that thought, Will. 855 450 free.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy.
DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website, fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves by dialing toll-free here at 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. And let's talk nutritional supplements for a moment. Over 60% of Americans take a nutritional supplement, and for good reason. Nutrient depletion of our soil coupled with dependence on processed foods has left most people deficient in those essential nutrients. But where do you start? If you visit a naturopath, you'll likely be told a cheap vitamin mineral supplement doesn't cut it. You'll also need probiotics, enzymes, antioxidants, and other nutrients. By the time it's all said and done, you're buying 5 bottles of product and spending $150 per month. If that's a situation that you've experienced, then you need to know about Whole Food Multi-Complete. For 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has been quietly providing what the big guys won't, the perfect blend of supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. Visit simplifymysupplements.com to learn more and use coupon code FTL like Free Talk Live to get 10% off your order. Every time you order, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Once again, go to simplifymysupplements.com and use coupon code FTL to get that 10% off. As we continue here, it's Ian, Mike, and Will in the studios. We still have Jamil on the line in Virginia. Jamil, you'd called in to ask Will, as he's an imam here at the Malik Center in Keene, New Hampshire, what his opinion was about cryptocurrency and its compatibility, cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, and its compatibility or lack thereof with the tenets of Islam. And
yep,
Will,
your
response has been that generally, and you're somebody who's pretty well, researched when it comes to Islamic economics. Your response is that it is acceptable, but there's certain aspects of some cryptocurrencies, the ones specifically that are called proof of stake, where people actually make more money by just simply holding on to their money.
Yeah.
That sort of stinks of interest.
Well, it's questionable enough that I personally would avoid it.
Yep.
And, my brother-in-law, he's Muslim. He's been investing in cryptocurrencies for 2 or 3 years now. I advise him. I've got another brother-in-law in Canada, my father-in-law. I've got a couple brothers here in the Keene community that I advise. There's brothers in, there's probably about 20 different Muslims at the very least that I advise on cryptocurrency investment. And that's the one thing that I have across the board with them is like, there are certain ways that you can play the clam markets. Clams will drop to $8 and go up to around $11, and they'll do that fluctuation every 2 weeks. And there's a way you can play that market and make a small profit off of that if you can invest a good amount of money.
Without doing the staking thing where you just make money by having money.
Exactly, where you can make a profit off that investment because it's seen as an investment. You're investing in a commodity.
And that speculation on volatility isn't seen as a form of gambling?
Depends on who you ask. That goes back to the whole.
Actually, that would have been part 2 of my question. That would have been.
There's a disagreement of opinion on whether or not it's considered speculation and gambling, or if it's considered an investment. It
Not
all
so much
has
gambling, but speculation.
It
I don't
specifically has to do with your intention. My intent is I use cryptocurrencies as a form of currency. To me, it's money. And if I'm buying money and selling,
Well, here's some economists in general differentiate between gambling and investment based upon the return on risk, or the average return on risk. So, for instance, laws for casinos here in the U.S., even though the government doesn't hold to this standard for their own lotteries, they require that private casinos pay at least 95% of their revenues back out as basically the return on risk ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a 95% chance of getting back what you risk on a gambling thing, whereas an investment is something where the average return on risk is always over 100%. So you may have, due to volatility, you may lose money.
Yeah.
But the intent, as you mentioned, the average performance over time is always in the positive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. At least from my personal experience, if you are smart enough to diversify your investments, as you should, and do your research, good God, don't expect somebody else to just tell you what to invest in. Go out and read white papers. Go out and spend time in the chat rooms with the developers. I mean, these guys will literally talk to you and have conversations with you if you go to Discord and dig around and find the servers. They will sit and they will have a real conversation with you. They're interested in telling people about what their technology is and how it functions. And do the research yourself. See what their do they have a dedicated, devoted community of miners and traders, or is it like 15 guys in a back room trying to, come up with a good pump and dump scheme? Like, you can find these things out by doing your own due diligence instead of expecting somebody else to do it for you. Tie your camel, brother. Tie your camel.
Yeah. Speaking of we were mentioning Blackcoin. Actually, I put up the Blackcoin website due to like a passing reference. I was one of the old Call to Freedom shows. And so I pulled it up, and I think right on the website, it does say interest. I think it uses the word interest. So I'm right there. It's like riba. It's kind of obvious for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, cryptocurrency is free of riba. When you look at it from the perspective, a lot of the times of the concerns in line with the libertarian views, it's free of the state, funding the state war machine, and free of the Federal Reserve, and it's not a riba-based fiat currency, very much in line with libertarian thinking. I read that, when I was searching around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty good.
Absolutely, yes. And that's one of the arguments. I actually had another imam that came to me and was like, Bitcoin isn't money because it can't be controlled by government, and and it doesn't have anything that backs it. And I was like, well, what backs the U.S. dollar? And he couldn't really.
Violence.
He said, "Well, the U.S. government does." And I said, "Okay, so, but how does that function? How do the Bretton Woods Accords work? How does all that?" And he had no clue. It's like, okay, well, the American dollar is backed by debt.
That's correct.
And interest. It's every piece of paper you have in your pocket is a great big chunk of riba. Just call it riba paper. So, I mean, if you're going to tell me that using Bitcoin isn't permissible, then let's have a conversation about that blood money that's built on riba that's in your pocket. Let's have a real conversation about whose money. I mean, let's talk about at the very least, degrees, like whose money is more haram. If they're both haram, then whose money is, at least I'm sinning less.
Haram being forbidden.
At least I'm sinning less because the money I'm using isn't built on interest and used to murder
backed by theft
children all over the world.
Jamil, thank you for the call tonight. We're going to let you go. Your cell phone was getting a little wonky there, and I appreciate hearing from you, though. The toll-free number is 855-450 free like freedom. JP calling from Keene, New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, JP.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you? What's up, brother? Brother Will?
What's up, JP? How you doing, brother?
Hey, dude. What's on your mind
tonight?
I'm
calling in because I just want to update the folks on the trial that I have on the 9th, which is next week. I believe Chris from Pink Penguin and one of your co-hosts is going to be going to be present, and the lawyer John Meyer, who represented Robin Hood of Keene against the city of Keene, is going to be representing me in that case.
What is this trial about? I don't know if our listeners are aware of this at all.
1 year ago this month, I was with a guy named David, and David Juris, who's been on the show a couple times, I think. He went to a Free
Hold
State
that thought.
Project
You're going to have to tell us here in a moment here. I know it involves the cops, so we're coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No-Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our number is toll-free at 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so Skype on in here at Skype, username LRN.FM. Lots of cryptocurrency talk on the air tonight. Another one you need to know about is Dash. It's digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. And Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and you'll find out why. As we continue here, we've got JP calling from Keene, New Hampshire, which is where we do the show from. JP, you were saying that there's a lawsuit or a case of some sort. Is it a criminal case that you're involved in Manchester?
It's a criminal case. I was going with Dave Juris to a Free State Project meeting, and I saw a pullover. It was like 10 degrees out that night, up in the area of where the Quill is, which is a place where liberty activists go in Manchester, New Hampshire. And there was 2 cars with maybe 6 undercover cops. They're part of what they called the anti-gang unit, the Ghost unit. And a Detective Aaron Brown illegally removed me for recording and moved me all the way down to the end of the street with threat of arrest, and he pushed me. So I filed a complaint, and during a New England Cop Chasers event in Rochester, they pulled up a warrant, and I got arrested. That was on video as well, for filing a complaint on a Manchester cop. So I brought this to John Meyer, the attorney.
They accused you of filing a false complaint, correct?
Yes, false swearing and making a false complaint on one of their own officers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice
I
intimidation
just wanted to
tactic.
update the folks that trial's on the 9th, which is next week.
So just to clarify, you had filed a complaint about this cop's behavior, about him trying to push you around as a member of the media, and they're claiming that you told a lie in that filing?
Yes.
And so you're on criminal. Is this a criminal case against you, or is this you suing them? I'm not clear on what the case is.
It's a criminal case. I actually got charged, arrested, booked for filing a complaint on Detective Aaron Brown.
Is it a misdemeanor?
2 misdemeanors I'm getting charged with: false swearing and filing a false complaint to a law enforcement officer.
Got it.
And is this based just on their say-so, or do they have like a body cam, anything of that sort?
No, the only one with the video of the incident was me, and it clearly shows him getting close enough. And what he did was push my shoulder and kind of force me all the way to the end of the street. That video is on New England Cop Chasers YouTube, and it's named Detective Douche Brown, Detective Douche. I believe I labeled it.
Okay.
And he basically assaulted me. It was, it's a simple assault, but he did touch me.
It's not assault when they do it.
Oh, of course not. But he's arguing the fact that, it's basically they came to their own self-determination. And the guy that took the complaint basically said, I don't think he's telling the truth because my officer said it didn't happen.
So you should turn around and file a complaint against him for filing a charge of doing a false complaint, and just pile it on.
Yeah, except I'm ordered by the court not to go near Manchester Police Department, and I have a stay away order.
Right.
Believe it or not.
But this arrest, the charges that this arrest is based on, are a false complaint against you by this.
I know. I just can't. I'll be in violation of my bail conditions and the stay away order. I can't even go near Manchester Police. So if I get in trouble, or if I need the police in Manchester, I can't go to the Manchester Police Department because I'm ordered to stay away and not contact them.
So this is happening. Your trial is on the 9th. It's in the afternoon in Manchester. I'm hoping to be able to make it out to it. because just not just to support you, but also your attorneys, John Meyer, who, as you pointed out, was the same guy who took the Robin Hood of Keene case all the way to the Supreme Court and won, which is a really
good lawyer,
epic Supreme Court free speech victory. This gentleman, John Meyer, is a free speech superstar attorney. Like, he is a great guy and really knows his stuff.
He won the Sasquatch case.
Yeah, he's won all kinds of great free speech cases. He used to be the head attorney for the ACLU in New Hampshire in the past, and really just overall great guy you want to have on your side. So it's always fun to watch him work. If you ever watch any of the footage of him in the courtroom on the Robin Hood trials,
he's a master.
He just lines them up against the ropes and just destroys the state witnesses. I mean, it is just incredible to watch him work. So I'm hoping to get out there because, JP, I also have a trial on that day, but I'll be in the morning in Hillsborough, New Hampshire, where I am on trial for so-called misuse of plates, which should be very interesting.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, I got pulled over. Yeah, we got pulled over after we were leaving Taco Biondo, which is a really cool little taco place. They've got like the best.
I love that place in Hillsborough.
Yeah, they got the best tacos in Hillsborough, and now they take cryptocurrency for their tacos, which is awesome. But we were leaving there, and there was an undercover police minivan in the parking lot that was scoping out the car that I was driving because it had a Shire plate on the back from the Shire Society. It had a custom plate. It's got my phone number on it instead of like some random numbers. So, you don't like my driving, you can call. But they didn't like that, so they pulled us over, and they had a second cruiser pull right in. So there was the undercover one, and then there was a marked cruiser that pulled in. So 2 cruisers, 4 cops. All of them wearing body armor and hovering their hands over their
you're
guns.
An enemy of the state.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have necessarily known who it was. Yeah, all over a plate. And so we got that on video. I haven't released that video yet because it's going to be used in the trial, and I'm going to just put it all out there after the trial is over. So that'll be happening in the morning on that day. So it's going to be a day of trials for anybody that wants to attend it. If you're in New England, you can check out the Free Keene calendar at calendar.freekeene.com, and you'll see my trials there. And we should put yours on there as well. JP, thanks for the call tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah. Have a great night.
Thanks, dude, for the call. I appreciate it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm hoping to make it out there because mine probably won't last that long unless they do what sometimes they do, which is to keep you there throughout waiting while they do every other single thing on their docket and hear every other case first, then call you. If they do, sometimes what they'll do is they'll actually call us first, so you never really know how they're going to approach it. But if we actually get in sooner rather than later, we'll have time to go to both.
Now, have you had to defend that Shire plate before, or is this a first for that?
This is the first time that it's actually resulted in a charge. So I've driven around with the Shire plate on a couple of different vehicles in the past. I've had this. It's an actual license plate. Like it's embossed, it looks nice. It's got the yellow, it's got kind of the international plate style. A lot of island nations have yellow background, black text.
Okay.
And so it's sort of in that style. You can get these very professional looking license plates online from a couple different places. One of them, I've had two of these. One was lost when a car broke down and it just never came back to me. So I got another one since then. But licenseplates.tv, and I think the other one's called Autoplates, and I don't remember what the extension is on that. But usually you're looking at paying like maybe $50 to $70 for a nice embossed one. You can get the cheaper flat ones that have no embossing for less than that. But the argument here is that it's not misuse of plates. Because if you pull up the misuse of plates statute, at least in New Hampshire, and I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but from my recollection, it has to do with when you don't display the assigned plate. So if your vehicle has a plate that is assigned to it by a government, it has to have that plate displayed on the vehicle. Right. But the statute doesn't actually say where it has to be displayed. And so this car that had the Shire plate on the back also had a Montana plate on the front. So there was a state plate that was attached on the car. It just wasn't where you expected to find it. So I don't know, I'm sure they're going to find me guilty anyway, and I'll end up having to go to jail for a night or something like that. But technically, I should win the case because there was a state plate displayed on the vehicle, just not on the backside. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we
tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free, packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free and join us right here. Our number for you, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian,
Mike,
and Will.
Whether it's freedom to travel or cryptocurrency, we can talk about any of those things here. We don't get enough freedom to travel activism. It sure is entertaining when people will do it, but it's also highly risky because you might actually lose your freedom, whatever freedoms you had. to travel. We can talk more about that if you want, but we're going to your phone calls and thoughts first. Plus, we got to finish up the story about Bitcoin's birthday. It's turned 9 years old today. It is the Genesis day of Bitcoin, when the Genesis block, the very first block number 0, was created, was 9 years ago. Let's get back, though, to your calls and thoughts. We go first to Raleigh, North Carolina, and David is on the line watching us on the cam at cam.freetalklive.com. Hello, David.
Hey, good evening, Jen.
Hey.
So, just wanted to, deviate a little bit, though it is related to some of the crypto talk that y'all engage in tonight and the other night. There's been a massive security vulnerability found in the way that the Intel CPUs, really, these are the CPUs that are in everybody's laptop, desktop, servers, etc.
Everyone except those who are running AMD chips, but yes.
Well, yeah, and as funny enough, this may or may not be applicable to them. That's yet to be seen, as the details of the exploit haven't been fully released yet.
Okay.
But essentially, the attack will allow any arbitrary program that runs on your computer. So, your web browser, for example, with certain web page, to access arbitrary memory segments. And so things like Bitcoin keys could be leaked to any old program that would be running on your computer if they're loaded into main memory. So, yeah.
Now, is that something that can affect
nasty.
people with Linux, or is it Microsoft only?
It's all operating systems running on x86 hardware.
Jeez, that's bad news.
Specifically, it's been tested against Intel. A similar attack has also been
now, just to clarify,
AMD.
sorry to interrupt, is this something that only Intel can do, meaning that Intel can spy on you, or is this something that some hacker can somehow take a hold of?
This would be like a malicious attack vector, right? So this is a fundamental, in the case of the issue that's only been confirmed to affect Intel, there are two different issues that were recently discovered, and, documentation starting to flow out about them. But the really nasty one affects Intel in particular, though it may apply to AMD, but that hasn't been actually verified, and there's no proof of concept.
So how does the attacker, perform this exploit? Do they have to have physical access to your machine?
No. It's basically, and I'm no kernel nor a memory management expert as these things go, but essentially it's defeating some of the memory protection components of the modern processor to access memory that programs would not otherwise be able to access.
So what you're saying is there could be some kind of malware or virus that is placed on your computer and by you or by some other party.
This would have to come through a website that you clicked on, or a link on an email.
Something you download without realizing, and then try to open.
Without realizing it. So the question is that are the web browsers allowing this sort of code, and if so, is this something that the browsers can block? Is there
well, presumably,
it's not. The fix has to be applied at the operating system level, and furthermore, said fix on Intel CPUs will have between a 5 and 30% performance impact. So the security vulnerability is bad, and the fix might be worse.
So if you fix this vulnerability, it may actually slow down your computer?
That has been the results in preliminary testing done by Linux kernel developers when implementing kernel-protected KPTI. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's the Linux kernel's way of randomizing memory addresses that are used to store sensitive data.
So what you're saying is if this virus were to get on, or this code, this malicious code were to get on your computer, a remote attacker could then access areas of the computer's memory, which it normally would not be able to do because of this exploit, and in theory could pluck out some very damaging information, specifically your Bitcoin private keys or something like that, then possibly stealing all of your cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's correct.
So another solution to get around this would be to have a hardware wallet, then, it sounds like. Because my understanding, the hardware wallet has the keys on it, and so therefore it is protected by any kind of outside attack.
As long as you don't have the hardware wallet plugged in while the machine is infected.
I've heard that it can't be infected. I've heard the hardware wallets cannot be touched by viruses.
Right, but if you have the hardware wallet, but the hardware wallet is essentially a USB stick that has apps on it. And so when you plug it into a computer, it becomes essentially a drive on that computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the question is, what applications will have access to that drive while it's plugged into that computer? So
in theory, the only applications that could access it would be the ones that have been authorized to, because they're passcoded.
Right, but you have to have an application on your install in the computer to do that, and so therefore the keys for that to access your hardware wallet will also be on your computer. So this applies to hardware wallets as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because the way they sold the hardware wallet was that it was basically impervious to being infected by a virus when it was plugged in. Just because
it wouldn't be infected, but it would be accessible by this malware.
Huh? Because when you plug in the code to this thing, it's done with a code that only exists on the hardware wallet. In that, I don't know the best way to explain this, but when you punch in a code on like your phone, for instance. There's a certain set of numbers, like you're on your bank's phone call-in thing, and you have to give it your PIN. Well, your PIN is always going to be the same numbers on the phone, right? Like you're going to press the same numbers in the same order. When you go on to, and I don't know if this is true of the Ledger, I bet it is, but on the Trezor, which is the one I have experience with, one of these hardware wallets, when you go to log into the wallet, it shows you a PIN pad on the hardware device, but on the computer, all you see are these nondescript buttons, and it jumbles them all around. So, like normally on your phone pad, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, right? All in the same order. But on the hardware wallet, it jumbles the numbers around. So every time you log in, the PIN presses, the actual locations of the numbers are totally different.
Yeah, but that's just the user interface. Okay. The problem is, and particularly with the Trezor, there is a serious cryptographic weakness to the Trezor where if you have physical possession of the Trezor wallet and you create a short between two pins on it, you can read the file on the Trezor as plain text, and it provides you with the key, your 12 words,
really,
and your balances in the different currencies.
They haven't fixed that?
I hear that a fix has been pending. I haven't heard whether that fix has come out yet.
Wow. Okay. Well, nothing's perfect out there as far as security is concerned. David, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I guess, what do you do about that? I guess you wait and see if the fix comes out, and then you apply it. You apply the patch.
Yeah, patch. And just one more thing.
And those would come in your normal security updates, right? Like from Windows or from Linux?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And I did put a link for details on the exploit out on the FTL AMP forum.
Okay, thanks.
But, if you want to tell people how to get access to that forum, I think this is a good plug time now.
Well, the AMP program is the way you can get in there, unless you're like me and you've quit Facebook, in which case you can just join the Free Talk Live forum over at forum.freetalklive.com, and there are other Free Talk Live listeners, including amplifiers, over there. But you're talking about the AMP-only Facebook group, which is one of the AMP perks, which you can get by signing up for the AMP program for $5 a month over at amp.freetalklive.com. And David, thanks for calling here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Once again, amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up with major credit cards as well as PayPal. And for those of you that want to spend Bitcoin Core, you can use Bitcoin Core for that too over at amp.freetalklive.com. I mean, are you freaked out about this exploit? Is this something that we should be concerned about?
I would have to investigate it further because it sounds to me like this exploit is at the machine code level where it's dealing with the actual commands on chip, which normally, from my understanding, is not something that can really be done by applications that your web browser is going to be executing. But, I may be wrong.
We got time for you. If you want to join us, got a full hour to go here on Free Talk Live. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,316 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $53, and the average price of Bitcoin is $14,818. Antiwar.com reports the latest in a series of threats to cut foreign aid around the world. President Trump has issued a statement complaining the Palestinians don't show him appreciation or respect for the hundreds of millions of dollars the U.S. has given them. He went on to suggest that the U.S. should not be making any future payments because of their refusal to accept his peace process. This centers around President Trump's Jerusalem declaration, which declared the city as Israel's capital and fueled massive worldwide protests, but nowhere so much as Palestine, which considers the eastern part of the city as their own capital. Trump's declaration led Palestinian leadership to conclude the U.S. can no longer serve as a peace arbiter. President Trump appears not to realize how badly the Jerusalem declaration was taken, however, presenting it as having resolved the toughest issue, Jerusalem's status, and thereby making the rest of the negotiation simpler. Trump's declaration is not only not accepted internationally, but even within his administration, most officials have been insisting it would not make an impact on Jerusalem's final status in the peace process, despite Trump clearly declaring the city off the table and ceded to Israel by U.S. diktat. This is all but a best-case scenario for Israel's far-right government, as they not only don't have to keep putting off Trump on the peace deal, but don't have to take the blame since Trump decided it's all the Palestinians doing.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports Amazon announced Tuesday they had sold more than 5 billion items through their Amazon Prime service in 2017, with more than 100 million items eligible for unlimited free 2-day shipping in the United States. Amazon Prime's Vice President Greg Greeley said tens of millions of members around the world enjoy the many benefits included with Prime, and in fact, more new paid members joined Prime worldwide this year than any previous year. In 2017, more than 5 billion items worldwide shipped with Prime, and members members use digital benefits like Prime Video, Prime Music, and Prime Reading more than ever before. The company has never disclosed how many members are subscribers to the service or what the retention rates are for users. Amazon's Fire TV Stick and the Echo Dot were the best-selling products purchased by U.S. Prime members from any manufacturer in any category across all of Amazon. The company said Instant Pot, a 7-in-1 kitchen appliance, was the most wish-listed item of the year and was delivered to more than 27,000 U.S. zip codes. A total of 17 million combined viewers used Amazon Prime Video's streaming service to watch 10 NFL Thursday Night Football games throughout 200 countries and territories across the world.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said on Tuesday that New York City will install more than 1,500 new barrier posts on sidewalks and plazas to protect pedestrians from vehicles after at least 2 instances last year of drivers killing people after mounting the curb. De Blasio said the thin, cylindrical, waist-height metal bollards are intended to be a more attractive alternative to the hulking concrete blocks the New York Police Department had deposited in busier areas around the city following the vehicle attacks. The mayor said at a Times Square announcement in front of a line of the post, "We understand what's happening around the world, and we even saw some tragedies here." De Blasio spoke within sight of the place where an intoxicated man in May steered a car along the sidewalk for 3 city blocks, killing a young woman and injuring at least 22 people. Last November, a man was charged with murder and providing support to the Islamic State after he plowed down people on a Manhattan bike lane the previous month, killing 8. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The CEO of Dollar Tree unveils the long-rumored foil baking pan. A new donor liver complains about the difficulty of working with Lou Reed. And a local couple keeps their marriage together for the sake of no one. We'll keep this as quick and painless as possible. This is the Onion Week in Review. A study published this week in the Journal of Financial Economics found that 83% of gamblers quit right before they would have hit the big one. Researchers confirmed that roughly 8 out of 10 gamblers who walked away from slot machines, poker games, horse races, roulette, and other games were consistently just a single stake away from winning it all, and unknowingly gave up a lifetime of fortune by quitting prematurely.
Our study proved that subjects who closed an online poker session, walked away from a slot machine, or even gave up gambling altogether would have won millions of dollars in the next bet. Also, people who walk away after hitting it big are missing out on a chance to make more money. I mean, when you're hot, you're hot.
In other news, an Asian guy has a separate group of Asian friends, and a vain Galapagos tortoise tries to pass for 90.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us here toll free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It is Bitcoin's birthday, the 9th anniversary of Bitcoin's coming into the world back in 2009. It happened
Capricorn.
January 3rd.
And slowly working its way to being in the 8-track tape of cryptocurrencies.
The dial-up, didn't you call it the dial-up?
Yeah,
of
the
cryptos?
dial-up of crypto.
So we can talk more about the history. What happened? You know, where did Bitcoin come from? We can get back into that coming up here in moments. But your calls and thoughts come first. By the way, tonight it's Ian here.
Mike.
And Will.
Let's go to Ricky. He's on the line in Pennsylvania on Skype. Go ahead, Ricky.
It's a call from Pennsylvania there, brother Ian. Good evening.
What's on your mind there?
Well, it's interesting you talk about security here, and that kind of got me on my mind. If I'd like to chime in here on this little Intel problem.
Okay. For listeners for this that just tuned in, the last call said that there's a exploit in Intel processors that could allow an attacker to gain access to certain areas in the computer's RAM that normally they would not have access to, which could reveal certain information to them that could be very useful, like Bitcoin private keys, which they could then use to rob you. Go ahead. Or steal from you.
First of all, Intel has had this problem over and over. I've been running AMD for the past 17 years because their processors are better. Now, here's the thing. This is only a helper. This is by no means makes you safe, but here's one answer. One thing that you can do with this. Now, say, for example, you got to access your crypto, whether it be, like, for example, if your hard drive, your hardware-based device, answer. What you do is after you're done accessing it, now it's only a helper, what you need to do is do a shutdown. What's going to happen is then the computer's going to dump its memory, and you want to start up from cold and start back up. Now, the problem is where you become vulnerable because there are lots of people, especially businesses, who just never shut down their computer. You don't want to do a restart. You want to do a shutdown. You want it to dump its memory. Now, after it dumps,
I don't know if I believe that you know what you're talking about.
Well, I know one thing. Okay, here's an example.
Because I'm pretty sure the memory on a computer gets flushed during a restart just as much as during a shutdown.
Not necessarily, no.
No?
That's
What do you
not-
think, Mike?
I think it depends upon the software you're using.
Okay.
Software has nothing to do with it. You know, the fact is all operating systems are going to operate this way.
Yeah, but the operating system isn't operating once you restart the computer. In most cases.
Right. But he has a point that in particular with RAM, okay, you're dealing with chips that are flashing signals to them, and so if the input to those is just cut, like, you know, pulling the plug, those chips can retain the information on those chips, and so you could theoretically read that data
even after being shut down.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I didn't know
Actually,
that.
that's incorrect. You need to really look up things. A restart save, shutdown dumps. It's not going to save anything. Anyways, that aside, you know, here's another example. Android.
Yeah, let's call that in dispute. Go ahead, Ricky.
Well, I mean, here's another thing. I mean, one of the things that I see with security is those things just irresponsibly said. I'll give you an example of that. Now, I know you don't read anything I send to you.
No,
but,
good Lord, no. I've got to do productive things.
Well, here's the thing. You come out on the air. I mean, there's a reason why I carry what I carry in a cell phone. Now, the fact of the matter is, you came out on the air and said openly, you're always bashing Microsoft. And the fact is, you said Microsoft put a backdoor in Skype.
I heard that. That's true. I heard that from, I think, Edward Snowden.
You know, well, here's the thing. Edward Snowden never said that. But one thing you might want to look at. Now, listen here, Brother Ian. See, I'm calling you misinformed. Now, here's why. See, Microsoft acquired Skype, and Microsoft said, hey, you know what? There's a backdoor in this. Microsoft patched it right after they got it. Would you like me to send you the links to it again so you can read it and then recap?
Well, here's a story from The Guardian from 2013. Microsoft handed the NSA access to encrypted messages. Skype worked to enable the NSA's PRISM program collecting video calls.
And that's outdated.
It's 2013. What has happened since then?
There was a report right after that. See, that was a false report.
I think you're full of it. You had said that Microsoft patched the problem. This was well after Microsoft had taken over Skype.
Actually, that's not correct either.
Yeah, what year did Microsoft purchase Skype?
It was right around that time. Now the fact inherited. I will send you the links. Now here's another thing. You carry Android. Now make note of this. Everybody makes fun of me because I carry Windows Phone. Well, you know what?
Looks to me like Microsoft bought Skype in 2011, so you're wrong. It wasn't even close to 2013.
You don't
so
know
you're just making crap up.
The deal didn't go through for years. You don't know your history, Ian. Some of the things you can look at it. Don't laugh. I want to recant that on the air because it's irresponsible. You carry a phone that's filled with 60% of stolen Microsoft code. So
you are such a fanboy for Microsoft, man.
They won the battle against Google. Nobody knows what they actually got. There was a settlement after a decade. This suit could have broke Google. I don't know what they got. Nobody knows.
So your claim is that Microsoft announcing they're buying Skype for $8.56 billion in 2011, mid-2011. You're claiming that deal didn't close for 2 more years?
It didn't. Now it didn't close for quite a while. Yes. Now the fact of the matter is, it's been proven. You can even look at the company who put the back door in there and who they work for. Yeah. There's back doors to this day in OS 10.
According to top secret documents obtained by The Guardian, which is much more highly renowned than Ricky and the Commonwealth. The Guardian says Microsoft has collaborated closely with U.S. intelligence services to allow users' communications to be intercepted, including helping the National Security Agency to circumvent the company's own encryption. So they gave the NSA a backdoor key to their encryption processes.
And Ian, as usual, you're reading something outdated. I will give you something that was soon after the Guardian article.
This is based on the secret documents that were smuggled out by Edward Snowden. So if you're trying to claim that, oh, yeah, that was true of the old Microsoft, but now they're good guys.
Turned another
You're
leaf.
full of it. Thanks for the call tonight. Nobody believes that crap. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The documents show that Microsoft helped the NSA to circumvent its encryption to address concerns the agency would be unable to intercept web chats on the new Outlook.com portal. The agency already had pre-encryption stage access to email on Outlook.com, including Hotmail. The company worked with the FBI in the year of 2013 to allow the NSA easier access to via Prism, which is one of the programs that the NSA was running to get all kinds of data on you, to its cloud storage service SkyDrive. So the company, again, gave the NSA special access to their cloud. And then also, Microsoft worked with the FBI's Data Intercept Unit to, quote, understand, unquote, potential issues with a feature in Outlook.com that allows users to create email aliases. In July of last year, 9 months after Microsoft bought Skype. So, again, he claimed it was in the process until 2013, but no, they had accomplished that a year prior to this news coming out. The NSA boasted that a new capability had tripled the amount of Skype video calls being collected through their Prism tool. Material collected through Prism is routinely shared with the FBI and CIA, with one NSA document describing the program as a team sport.
And not just our own intelligence services, but foreign intelligence services, particularly the British GCHQ, which is similar to the NSA, and they manage MI5 and MI6.
Since Prism's existence became public, Microsoft and the other companies listed on their documents at the NSA as providers have denied all knowledge of the program and insisted the intelligence agencies do not have backdoors into their systems. So the question is, do you believe Edward Snowden and the secret documents he released that reveal all kinds of just outrageous information about the behavior of these intelligence agencies? Or do you believe the public relations crew and Ricky, the public relations group at Microsoft, and Ricky in Pennsylvania? I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
Let's continue here. We got George in Jacksonville, Florida. George, are you listening on the radio?
Yeah, I am.
Really? All right. I didn't know we were on in Jacksonville. That is good to know. What were you calling about tonight?
So I actually wanted to get you guys' input on EOS.
I don't know anything about it, but I don't know about my co-host. Hang on, George. We're going to bring you back here in moments. It sounds like a cryptocurrency, but we'll continue here in moments. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us here on Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Mike,
and Will.
Yeah, as we continue here, making anarchy great again. That is the mission of Anarchapulco for 2018. It's coming up fast, February 15th through the 18th. That's where Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from on those days. And we'll look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a great event. If it's anything like 2017's event, this one's going to be awesome. There were hundreds of people there in 2017 at beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. This year, they're moving the location to the Princess Resort, which is right there on the beach. Very, very lovely location. I actually happened to go to that location in the last year just because the lady I went to wanted to go and check out the beach. And so the hotel chain that owns these hotels, they'll shuttle you from one hotel to the next. And this is a very, very nice hotel. You're going to enjoy seeing some great speakers like Ron Paul, the keynote address, plus others including G. Edward Griffin, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger Veer, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Julia Taransky, Dana Martin, Juan Galt, Adam Kokesh, Kerry Wedler, Vit Yedlika, and Sterling Lujan, plus live music from Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and more. It's all happening at the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico, February 15th through the 18th. We'll be there. Hope to see you there. And don't forget to use code FTL when you go and get your tickets online at anarchapulco.com. You can use code FTL like Free Talk Live, and you will get 10% off of the regular ticket price. I do not believe that gets you a discount on most of the extra tickets because there's other things that are happening at around that time frame that are related to Anarchapulco, but they're not included in the main ticket price, like their Change Media University with Luke Radowski, their Amazonian Ceremony events, the Health and Wellness Retreat, and more. You can go and get all the details and get signed up over at anarchapulco.com. Don't forget to use code FTL to get 10% off your regular ticket price. And by the way, the regular tickets do include access to Cryptopulco, which will be the final day of the event on February 18th. So again, February 15th through the 18th. That's coming up in 6 weeks or so. So we're getting close. Once again, it's anarchapulco.com. We'll see you there as we go back to George in Jacksonville. Or I guess it turns out, George, you're actually not in Jacksonville. You're on the road somewhere in Georgia listening to us on a radio station that we don't know which one it is. So I wish I could figure it out, but it turns out that you don't actually know where you are. Is that right?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. Go ahead with your thoughts tonight. So you had asked us about is it a cryptocurrency, EOS?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I hadn't heard about it really, but Mike, you did some digging there during the break.
Yeah, I just scanned through their white paper. It's an interesting coin.
Is it a coin or a token? Because I see they've got a token on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah, the token was for their crowd sale to raise capital.
To make their own coin?
Yeah. And so they're developing the EOS blockchain essentially as a platform for creating distributed applications. And they're
How's that different from Ethereum? Isn't that what they do?
Similar and but still different. And the interesting thing is they're using a delegated proof of stake algorithm, it's really fast. I mean, there's a new block generated every 3 seconds.
Wow.
All right. And they've got an interesting way of dealing with minority blocks that informs people trying to transact whether their transaction's going to go through within like 9 seconds. So it's really got a great scalability design to it, at least from what they're saying.
So you're saying you're interested, and based on what you've seen so far from this.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, George? I mean, is there a way to explain what this is to the average listener that doesn't know anything about blockchain technology?
Yeah, so I mean, you guys actually hit on a lot of really good salient points. The big thing is the delegated proof of stake algo that they use is super quick. And one of the comparisons that I've seen when you're looking at them versus, say, something like Ethereum is that the Ethereum blockchain, for whatever reason, is considered a single-threaded blockchain. Just like a normal CPU.
It's basically like a chain where you have block after block after block after block.
Okay.
And a single continuous order.
In order.
Exactly. Yeah. So just like a normal CPU can do serial computations very well, it can work on one problem that's very complex for a long time and do it very quickly. But CPUs are not very good at parallel computation, doing a lot of simple problems simultaneously.
Yeah, what we call multi-threading.
Multi-threading. And that's what GPUs do that CPUs do not do. And so EOS, or the way that their delegated proof of stake algorithm is going to work in their final product, is a parallel threaded system where they're going to have multiple threads running through independent nodes and block producers that should allow the eventual blockchain, their mainnet, to be significantly faster than anything that we've ever seen.
So it could be that what you're saying is this could be the Ethereum killer. Ethereum right now is the number 3 cryptocurrency if you rank by market cap. It's been very, very popular. It actually blew up at the end of 2017 with the CryptoKitties application.
It's now nearly $1,000.
It's record high.
Yeah.
Record high. So, I mean, a lot of people are putting a lot of hope behind Ethereum. You're saying this may be the killer unless the Ethereum people take the same concept and adopt it to their network, because all this stuff is usually open source.
Right.
So one group can apply a good idea from another cryptocurrency to theirs if they feel like it. So, George, have you purchased some of this EOS, or are you still in the investigation phase?
Yeah, so full disclosure, I have purchased a significant amount of EOS just because I believe in the product that they're making. Really what caught my eye initially was just the structure of their ICO. So the way that it's structured is they have 365 days where every single day they're doing an ICO, and you input however many ETH that you want to contribute, and however many ETH that are contributed in that 24-hour period determines how many tokens you get for each ETH that you submit.
ETH is Ether. That's the shorthand for Ethereum, the cryptocurrency. Yeah. So you actually have to put Ethereum into this initial coin offering, which is what ICO stands for. You put this Ethereum into this initial coin offering, and then in return for the Ethereum, you get some amount of these tokens that are the EOS tokens that they're giving out to try to fund the creation of the thing that they want to make.
And presumably those tokens will then play some role within the EOS ecosystem, kind of like gas does in the Ethereum.
But those tokens exist on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yes, and it's you've got something. Basically, people are using the Ethereum blockchain to bootstrap their own technologies, which are deriving from that.
George, thanks for calling in tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. Drive safe out there, and thank you again. The toll-free number here is 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The EOS token is ranked at number 13 right now in the world by market cap, according to coinmarketcap.com, which right now says there are $761 billion worth of cryptocurrencies in the world. We can take your calls about anything that's on your mind. Our toll-free number here is 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us here on Free Talk Live. We got more on the way. It's Bitcoin's birthday, 9 years old today. It's Free Talk Live.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
I mean, it's just so hard to believe that it's really all gone.
It was in this living room 3 weeks ago that the Talbot family discovered their DVR had suddenly and inexplicably crashed, deleting more than 5 years' worth of recorded live events and miniseries.
I keep having flashbacks to that day, to that moment when I realized everything was gone.
You hear stories about people who mismanage their device settings, but you never really think it could happen to you. Honestly, it feels like some sort of a dream, like when I wake up, I'll be able to just go downstairs, turn on the TV, and all the episodes will be there again, as if nothing had ever happened.
Friends and family of the Talbots have pledged their support, organizing DVD donations and offering passwords to online streaming services while the family struggles to move on.
We know that we'll never be able to replace all the hours of programming that we had, but I think in the end we'll be just fine. As long as we have our 5 seasons of Seinfeld on DVD.
This is the Onion News Network.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in and join us on the radio here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Blink Home Security System can be yours. You get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys will charge you for 1 security camera at blinkprotect.com/FTL. Why do you want the Blink system? Because it's easy and you don't have to hire a professional to do the install. It is a wireless camera system. There's no wires to the cameras. There's only one power cable for the hub. You plug in the hub, you pop the batteries in the cameras, you set it all up via your Wi-Fi enabled device like a smartphone or a tablet, and you're literally done within moments. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to get yours. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. We've been talking about cryptocurrency throughout most of the show here tonight. It is Bitcoin's birthday, and we were sharing with you, 9 years old today. It has changed the world for the better because it is the world's first cryptocurrency, the world's first decentralized, distributed cryptocurrency that now there are over 1,300 competitors to Bitcoin. If you go to coinmarketcap.com, the total market cap of all those cryptocurrencies together is over $750 billion. And
it's just a start.
Yeah, because just a few months ago, it was $200 billion.
Yep.
In November.
I literally just bought like 12 different kinds of cryptocurrency in the course of the last couple of hours.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's all thanks to Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that is, and their creation of this back in 2009. Now, back to the story here that we started tonight from news.bitcoin.com, looking at the history of cryptocurrency and the impact that it has had, talking about here how money, main measure of wealth, had been nationalized and tethered to instruments of coercion and force, which is what the government does. They use the money that they print to bomb innocent people in other countries. And if you're in cryptocurrency, you are no longer supporting that centralized form of money. The more money that you can take, the more fiat dollars, the more government monies that you can take out and put it into cryptocurrency, exchange one for the other, the less responsible you are for any bombs that get dropped on innocent people around the world. They say here that Bitcoin or something like it might be an answer. Despite previous attempts at competing currencies to government money, there was always a central point of failure, which you talked about earlier, Mike, with e-gold or the Liberty Dollar.
Yeah, if you got metal lying around, it's something the government can come and grab.
Or if it's a corporation or a company that created the thing, then that's a location the government can come to and steal the computers from and arrest the individuals who are involved, which is why Satoshi wants to remain anonymous, I imagine, because he or she or they knew that they would be targeted. They point out here that digital cash companies had offices, a creator or a head, and were intimidated out of existence. Still others were litigiously hammered by government minders, dragging proponents into court and threatening their livelihoods with jail time. Hard-coded into its origin and open source, Bitcoin could be run by anyone. In fact, the more people who run the software, the better. The more nodes in existence, the less points at which the network can be shut down. And there are thousands of nodes in the Bitcoin system, so it's impossible for the governments, even if the governments of the world worked in tandem at the same moment all across the world to try to shut this network down, it would be an impossibility because there's just so many of these nodes, and some of them can be obscured by, things like VPNs and other setups to where you don't know exactly where their location is in the first place.
Well, the best that they can really do is to destroy people's trust in it by manipulations. And, if they're seizing people's wallets as they come through borders, or if they're able to seize a significant fraction of it, just as with the 51% problem with mining, if you have too many people in a single pool mining Bitcoin, they could theoretically introduce bad transactions and counterfeit transactions into it. The same thing as if the government seizes enough Bitcoin, they could then become a market maker and manipulate prices, not only to accumulate more Bitcoin, they could use it to destroy people's trust in it and to steal the wealth that they've built up in it.
So far, what they've done when they get their hands on Bitcoin is they turn it over and sell it as quickly as they can. So when they took Ross Ulbricht's Bitcoins from the Silk Road, they just flipped that and sold it. Had they held on to it and then sold it, it would have gone up tremendously.
But we've seen major banks who are hand in hand with the government, like J.P. Morgan. After Jamie Dimon's attacks on Bitcoin in the press, J.P. Morgan turned around and was buying Bitcoin when its price was depressed. So they do already, as it is, they're manipulating the price of Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, they're trying to, but Bitcoin's pretty big on the global scene. I mean, if you want to manipulate something, it's going to be easier to manipulate one of the smaller currencies.
Sure, but compared to world currencies, I mean, someone as big as George Soros, who is just an individual, has been able to take down national currencies before. So in reverse, it shouldn't be that hard for a government like the U.S., like the Federal Reserve.
So are you saying that people should stay away from Bitcoin because the government could take it down?
Just keep your Bitcoin secure. Don't trust central reserves.
But I mean, isn't what you're saying fear, uncertainty, and doubt here, suggesting that, oh my God, if these big money men come in and manipulate Bitcoin, it's all over?
Well, this is where we get into things like the situation with Ripple that we were talking about earlier, where a lot of people are looking at Ripple, where a huge amount of the Ripple being purchased now is being purchased not with fiat, but with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's seen as a scheme for the banks, which are involved in Ripple, to acquire.
But that's more of a sneaky long-term plan for them to acquire.
But at some point, they'll acquire enough where they become the market makers. So, it's something where you need to be aware of. And if that comes to fruition, and I'm not saying it will, how
would you ever know?
Well, you can look at where those.
It would be if somebody dumped a bunch of Bitcoin onto the market, right, to try to crash the price.
But you could also, all the blockchains are transparent, so you know where which wallets the Bitcoins are going to that are buying Ripple.
Right.
So then you can say, they've got this Bitcoin, and as long as you know that Bitcoin is in that wallet, and you can do that by auditing the blockchain at any time, then you know who has that market power.
But you don't know who it is because even though you know where it is and you know which address it is, you don't know who's holding that wallet. You don't know who is in charge of it.
That's going through Ripple still. That Ripple has their exchange, and as long as it's going through there, then you
can presume that they have it.
Well,
right?
If someone has $50 billion in Bitcoin that they've acquired through Ripple, odds are it's a major bank or Ripple corporation itself.
So I'm not a investor. I don't know how all this stuff works, but it would seem to me that the big fear here is that these big banks or the governments would acquire a bunch of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in this case, and then the idea is they would just sell it to crash the price. But wouldn't that just be a buying opportunity for a bunch of people?
It would be, except for
smart people.
The ruin. It would drive people out, just like the issue in the.
It would spook people.
15 years ago, when we were looking at the price of gold was only like $250, $275 at the time, and the reason for that is that J.P. Morgan and Barrick Gold were manipulating the price of gold and driving people out by ruining their trust in gold as an investment.
They did the same thing to silver a few years later. I've got friends of mine that they bought in during the first spike. The first time that I was like, you know what? I think that the bankers might be trying to manipulate the cost of Bitcoin. The first big spike and crash, and he bought in at the tail end and didn't hold and lost his hat. And he is
You mean he bought in at the peak?
Yeah,
and didn't hold. Okay.
And I know quite a few people like that are friends of mine online. And now, even with Bitcoin, at $15,000 a coin, they are virulent.
They're still spooked.
They're not spooked. They're hateful. They hate Bitcoin. Bitcoin ruined their lives. And that's what the big bankers want. They want more of that. It's good for them to ruin people's lives. It's a good thing. It's positive for them, because if you ruin my life as a cryptocurrency user, then that leaves me with no alternative but who?
And to spread that FUD to others.
Look, I mean, for all the fear here about what the banks could do, I got to say, cryptocurrency still seems to be the place to go, because
of course it is.
They're not in control of it.
It's important.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown. Not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Have you ever wondered who the second person to discover gravity was? When you're in the mood for a treat, would you go to the second best bakery in town? Or how about the name John Breckenridge? Recognize it? If you don't, that's because he came in second to Abraham Lincoln. The firsts are first for a reason. Just how ID Stronghold was the first to create the technology to protect your credit cards from thieves with RFID chip scanners. ID Stronghold products block signals from those scanners, so thieves can't capture your critical data. Get a stronghold on your personal information and protect your family too. Don't settle for the second best wallet. Pick up ID Stronghold wallets for everyone on your list this holiday season. They're the perfect stocking stuffer, with leather wallets starting as low as $20 on Walmart.com, eBay, Amazon, and QVC. Save 10% by using coupon code PRESENT for a limited time. That's coupon code PRESENT only on IDStronghold.com. IDStronghold.com.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me, about my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up what you want. The number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Mike,
and Will.
We're going to go to your phone calls and thoughts. Don't forget, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. We do have the Free Talk Live web forum over there at forum.freetalklive.com. Allows you to get interactive with other Free Talk Live hosts and listeners of the show. There's lots of different subforums there that aren't just about Free Talk Live. There's some cryptocurrency-related subforums and others about New Hampshire liberty activism and what it takes to move up here and join the movement of people from around the globe who care about liberty and who are concentrating their activism and their efforts in one place. So check it out over at forum.freetalklive.com as we go to your calls and thoughts. Sarah is on the line in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yes. Do we just have 4 sheriffs shot and killed in Colorado? That's what I was told.
Are you asking me what the news is in Colorado? Because I have no idea.
Well, you know what? I was told that. I was told that they were, a couple of days ago. So I thought maybe you knew more about it. What
Google says that there's a gunman, gunman in deadly Colorado deputy shooting identified as Iraq War vet with a grudge against the sheriff. So one government guy killing another government guy.
That's kind of like gangbangers killing gangbangers.
So I thought, but it was just one person killed or 4 persons killed? But it was a white guy killing another white guy, right?
That appears to be that way. Yes, that's right.
So,
the color of who the person shot who? Why does that? Is that relevant at all? Like, who cares?
Well,
a person shot a person.
I think this is not like racial motivated. This is more like we're going to have a civil war. This is like the beginnings of it. Like the Waco people wanted a civil war.
Yeah, apparently 3 other deputies were wounded in this case. Matthew Reel, age 37, fired more than 100 rounds as he was holed up in his bedroom in his apartment in Highlands Ranch, and ultimately he was found dead at the scene. So apparently this dude had a problem with the cops, and they went after him or something. I don't know. To me, if government people are killing one another, it's really hard for me to care.
We're headed for a civil war. That's what I'm telling you.
It's not a civil war when the government's attacking each other.
Well, here's the thing: is this shooter was an Army veteran who served briefly in Iraq, was not an active at this point an active duty.
But still, he was in the government.
Well,
so you got a government guy.
I'm a
shooting
veteran.
Other government guys.
Calling me a government guy isn't accurate either. So he had, according to this, he had actually run against the sheriff in the election for sheriff, and he was running as a libertarian. So,
oh boy.
So yeah.
So another gunman with the libertarian brand on him there. That's going to be great. Hey, Sarah, thanks for calling here tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. There's more here about that story, but I'd rather talk more about Bitcoin. So again, it's Bitcoin's birthday today, 9 years old, and the folks over at news.bitcoin.com have a nice little piece kind of talking about the history of Bitcoin and what was its motivation in the first place. What was it that made it special? The fact that it was the first decentralized distributed cryptocurrency that puts the power of money into the hands of the individual rather than leaving it in the hands of banks and governments of the world. They say here that they capped the generation of Bitcoin at 21 million, meaning there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, unless, of course, the programmers decide to change that, which I suppose they could if they wanted to at some point. But
well, they could, but nobody would adopt that sort of a fork.
You don't think?
No, I mean,
Okay.
none of the miners would accept it because the coin that they hold would drop in value.
Good point. So they said that could make it deflationary over time, and as far as anyone has been able to determine, all of this was done by one person until a little more than a year after creating and maintaining Bitcoin. He vanished. Talking about Satoshi Nakamoto, the person, we don't know even who it is, whether it is a he or not. But by either laws of self-preservation or wanting to obey the logic Bitcoin demanded, Satoshi Nakamoto's disappearing act meant the last limit to anti-fragility was lifted. No one was in control of Bitcoin. Because as you pointed out, Mike, the programmers, if they make a bad change to Bitcoin, if the miners don't like that change, they don't have to adopt it, which means that it's a sort of this decentralized process of change.
Right.
Change can happen, but it has to have a large number of approval.
And Satoshi's disappearance was sort of to prevent a sort of cult of personality from arising around him as being an authority
creator
for people to listen to, and because whenever you have this sort of a situation where you have the founder is a major player in whatever movement, you wind up
people
with
follow
these
him.
doctrinaire orthodox people who say what so-and-so says is the law, no matter how unreasonable it might be. So by taking Satoshi out of the equation, it became much more of a community-governed process.
Without a patent, no incorporation to limit liability, no billionaire genius bankrolling the project, lacking a visionary CEO spouting words of wisdom, swanky marketing budgets are non-existent, and exactly no government backing, Bitcoin has managed to amass $250 billion worth of market capitalization in that 9 years. Combined with its spawn, the 1,000-plus alternative coins and variations on Bitcoin's theme are approaching $700 billion. This was when this was written. It's now over $750 billion in value. It's probably not out of the question to assume the $1 trillion mark will be met in 2018. It's not out of the question to assume the $1 trillion mark for all crypto is going to be met this month.
Yes.
At the rate that it's been going up.
I would not be surprised if it hit 10 trillion by the end of this year.
Oh yeah. That could be a conservative estimate.
Yeah.
If anything holds true as to what held true in 2017 with the tremendous increase in the last half of this year, if that continues to hold, which it may not, it might drop down and fall off a cliff. You never know. But if it holds true, we're going to see more than 10 trillion, I think.
And $1 trillion, then you're talking where the size of the crypto economy is, that of a number of nations.
It already is bigger than a lot of them, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than just Bitcoin's numbers are bigger than companies like Goldman Sachs now.
Yeah.
So often overlooked is the transfer of wealth. For sure, much of it could be chimera due to, ironically, the very same issue that gave it a reason to exist in the first place. Easy government money sloshing about, distorting valuations. Putting that aside for the moment, consider what Bitcoin could mean to millions who have just begun investing. Previously, all real money had been made. Slobs and regular Joes could open a brokerage account, be feed to death, and hope for beating inflation, maybe. Onboarding rules, taxes, regulations, all of it combined to insulate Wall Street from competition by ordinary people with a little cash. Bitcoin changed that, potentially. And this has happened for you recently, Will, where you took a little bit of money and invested it into cryptocurrencies, and you've been moving it around, and you've been able to fund the Malik Center, the mosque that you opened, with basically day trading cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Anyone, they say here, could receive or earn or buy Bitcoin, and the value of that token, coin, or payment system would rise and rise. Crashes? Sure. But its price resilience has ushered in a new era of wealth for a great number of people who never otherwise could have participated. Wall Street legacy money was initially kept out due to their regulatory burdens, their protecting of themselves, their arrogance, and natural sheep-like behavior. For maybe the first time in recorded financial history, small money was ahead of big money.
That's right.
The implications of Block 0, which is, again, the first Bitcoin block that was mined 9 years ago today, go much further than the above. More remains to be written and studied, obviously, but taking a minute to appreciate participation in an honest-to-goodness historical moment might allow enthusiasts, veterans, and newbies alike to appreciate being active participants. And they're right here. I mean, the fact that Bitcoin has allowed a group of people who otherwise would never have been players in the world financial system to all of a sudden become the ones that the players are afraid of. Like, they don't want you to know it. But the reason why these big bankers are getting on television talking about how bad Bitcoin is because they're afraid of it. They're afraid of what decentralized currency means to their power.
Yep.
They know that it's possibly...
And that's indicative of where it's moving. I mean, what's that old saying of first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win.
That's the one.
Yep.
So,
they're fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting. And
we're winning.
Get some. Get some.
Yep, there you go. It's not too late to start learning about these things. So check out Bitcoin.com. That's a great place to go and learn the basics. And then you can just go as deep into this world as you want to. I mean, it's so endless.
Absolutely.
You couldn't possibly learn all that you could possibly learn. It's just not even an option. So we'll see you tomorrow night. You can join us online between now and then over at freetalklive.com. And happy birthday, Bitcoin. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,316 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $53, and the average price of Bitcoin is $14,818. Antiwar.com reports the latest in a series of threats to cut foreign aid around the world. President Trump has issued a statement complaining the Palestinians don't show him appreciation or respect for the hundreds of millions of dollars the U.S. has given them. He went on to suggest that the U.S. should not be making any future payments because of their refusal to accept his peace process. This centers around President Trump's Jerusalem declaration, which declared the city as Israel's capital and fueled massive worldwide protests, but nowhere so much as Palestine, which considers the eastern part of the city as their own capital. Trump's declaration led Palestinian leadership to conclude the U.S. can no longer serve as a peace arbiter. President Trump appears not to realize how badly the Jerusalem declaration was taken, however, presenting it as having resolved the toughest issue, Jerusalem's status, and thereby making the rest of the negotiation simpler. Trump's declaration is not only not accepted internationally, but even within his administration, most officials have been insisting it would not make an impact on Jerusalem's final status in the peace process, despite Trump clearly declaring the city off the table and ceded to Israel by U.S. diktat. This is all but a best-case scenario for Israel's far-right government, as they not only don't have to keep putting off Trump on the peace deal, but don't have to take the blame since Trump decided it's all the Palestinians' doing.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports Amazon announced Tuesday they had sold more than 5 billion items through their Amazon Prime service in 2017, with more than 100 million items eligible for unlimited free 2-day shipping in the United States. Amazon Prime's Vice President Greg Greeley said tens of millions of members around the world enjoy the many benefits included with Prime, and in fact, more new paid members joined Prime worldwide this year than any previous year. In 2017, more than 5 billion items worldwide shipped with Prime, and members use digital benefits like Prime Video, Prime Music, and Prime Reading more than ever before. The company has never disclosed how many members are subscribers to the service or what the retention rates are for users. Amazon's Fire TV Stick and the Echo Dot were the best-selling products purchased by U.S. Prime members from any manufacturer in any category across all of Amazon. The company said Instant Pot, a 7-in-1 kitchen appliance, was the most wish-listed item of the year and was delivered to more than 27,000 U.S. zip codes. A total of 17 million combined viewers used Amazon Prime Video's streaming service to watch 10 NFL Thursday Night Football games throughout 200 countries and territories across the world.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said on Tuesday that New York City will install more than 1,500 new barrier posts on sidewalks and plazas to protect pedestrians from vehicles after at least 2 instances last year of drivers killing people after mounting the curb. De Blasio said the thin, cylindrical, waist-height metal bollards are intended to be a more attractive alternative to the hulking concrete blocks the New York Police Department had deposited in busier areas around the city following the vehicle attacks. The mayor said at a Times Square announcement in front of a line of the post, "We understand what's happening around the world, and we even saw some tragedies here." De Blasio spoke within sight of the place where an intoxicated man in May steered a car along the sidewalk for 3 city blocks, killing a young woman and injuring at least 22 people. Last November, a man was charged with murder and providing support to the Islamic State after he plowed down people on a Manhattan bike lane the previous month, killing 8. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After logging onto the Xbox One game console at one of his classmates' homes, 12-year-old Michael Cutler admitted to reporters this week that he really does not have the slightest clue about what his friend's name could be.
I mean, his name might be Brian. No, wait, Brian's my other friend, the one with the PS4. Yeah, if I'm being totally honest, there's no way I can tell you his name. Not a chance.
Noting that the boy had, quote, an absolutely huge HD TV and a bunch of games his mom won't let him play, Cutler confirmed that he could recall only the faintest details about his friend, including the fact that his mother makes chocolate chip cookies and that he has a dog of some kind.
He's got Killer Instinct, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 4, and Titanfall? Man, that game's awesome. Anyway, I've just been calling him Flamethrower because that's his gamer tag. Hopefully he doesn't catch on. Hey, can I stick around for a few more hours? I'm so close to beating this.
This is the Onion News Network. And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Yeah, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear here. Declare your independence. I'm here in Scamcoin here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEA beautiful studios of Freedom's with an S, Phoenix.com. Oh, we're going to have a good day today. What are we going to have for you? Oh, Michael Badnarik. Michael Badnarik, constitutionpreservation.org. Yeah, go check him out. Michael Badnarik, the Libertarian presidential nominee from '04, and author and good friend. And we're going to get talking about we going to New Orleans for some fun this summer. We'll see. And the second hour, got Karen Katowski back. We were not done talking. There was a bunch of stuff. Lieutenant Colonel from the Pentagon, Air Force, had all kinds. We've been friends for a long time, and she's going to say something about something. I really wanted to talk about Africa, North Korea, China, Russia. Yep, she's going to have no opinion. She wrote an article on Trump here recently, and we went through that a little bit. But there's so much more to talk about. We're going to get to that. And then in the third hour, I got my grandchildren's, over some. We may put them up there, and they get to do some yakking. They'd say hello. So you guys get ready for that. Get ready. You got to tell all your Christmas stories. Christmas story. Did you shoot your eye out? I just want to know. All right, we're going to find out. All right, let's go ahead and talk to Skype. Let me push that button. Hello, Michael. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Happy New Year to you and all your listeners.
And to you. Where are you now? Where are you at? You're in Texas now, or what?
I'm in Texas, Austin, Texas, deep in the heart.
I know, man. You just cowboyed up. It's I
am cowboyed up. I love it.
Yeah, no, if you don't see Michael out his hat, he must be sick or something. Okay, what we're going to do is you have been contacted, and both we hadn't talked about it yet. I was just yak about it on the radio. And this convention this year in New Orleans, there is I don't know. I think we're going to see a beginning and a before and an after of a milestone of something. What say you?
Well, there's been a lot of concern throughout the country for years, build it up, and a little bit of pressure. And some of that pressure is being noticed and manifested within the Libertarian Party. And, strange things have happened in the Libertarian Party before. We went to Portland, and a bunch of people completely changed the, LP platform. So I think this is going to be a similar convention.
Go the other way or what?
Well, no, it's not going to go the other way. Well, maybe it will. The issue in consideration here is the fact that, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Adam Kokesh is running for LP presidential candidate. And that's not unusual in and of itself. But apparently his platform is that once he gets elected, he will work to dissolve the federal United States down into individual states.
That'd be, just even have that question articulated, it'd be interesting. We'll see. It'd be interesting.
That's what I say. I don't know what will happen because I'm not sure exactly how libertarians feel about that in general.
My thing is if anarchist, compared to what? I mean, is that my choice? What I got now or none? None sounds pretty good, but it's how that would devolve. Yeah, it would be interesting discussion. But my thing is that Adam and his efforts are just a result of the Libertarian Party going, the pendulum swinging so far in support of government, of the state, of our turn. Let us have some of the brass ring. I mean, it's kind of, like, wow, that was never what I anticipated the effort was all about. And then it's they want to ingrain into the documents that it is our job to get people elected and rule, in our turn. And I'm just, that was not what I signed up for. So I'm, I think that the battle of philosophies of what we're supposed to be doing and what we're, kind of advocating is going to come to the convention and in force. And I think I saw it last year at the Orlando convention. I'm going, I see what's coming. They're setting everything up for New Orleans. And then when the activists, the people, the libertarians, I always thought kind of has grown to be much larger than inside the party. And when they see a flame, they want a moth to it or something, or you start opening a can of tuna, here come the cats. You want to herd cats? I'll show you how to do it. And so they're opening the can. Here's the can opener. My man here, let's go to New Orleans, and at least we can have a party. So I think it's going to be a witnessing of whatever is going on. You might, have your influence